Artificial intelligence. It's everywhere right now. And depending upon who you ask, it's either the greatest tool humanity has ever created, or it's the beginning of something we're not going to be able to walk back from that easily. I've watched it replace musicians, composers who spent decades developing their craft and replaced by a prompt and a processing fee. I've watched it displace software engineers. I'm one. And I've watched it quietly hollow out the kind of original creative thinking that actually moves human understanding forward. Here's what concerns me the most. We are already at or rapidly approaching a data shortage for AI training. And the reason is deeply ironic. The internet is now being flooded with AI-generated content, which means AI is increasingly being trained on its own output. Garbage in, garbage out. Except it's more insidious than that. It's more like inbreeding. Each generation is slightly more distorted than the last. There's a scene in the movie Christine, I'm sure a lot of people here have seen it, where the guy Arnie drags his wrecked car into a garage and starts restoring it. And then the manager walks over and he notices something deeply wrong. Brand new windshield wipers on a shattered windshield. A shiny new headlight sitting inside of a busted fender. A pristine door handle on a door that's barely holding together. Well, that is AI right now. Extraordinary peaks sitting right next to catastrophic valleys. Dazzling in some places, completely broken in others. And the problem is you don't always know which one you're looking at until it's too late. So people like to talk about Skynet, the rise of the machines, the moment artificial intelligence decides to take over because it doesn't need us anymore. But the more I watch what's happening in the world, the more I think that's not quite how the story ends. I don't think the machines rise up. I think the humans just hand everything over because it's easier, because thinking is hard, because doing less feels like progress. And to me, that's the scarier version of the story. But I'm not here to talk about the existential implications of AI. I'm here because AI has been showing up in a very specific conversation that keeps appearing in my feeds. Paranormal research. Now, when we say AI in paranormal research, that could cover a lot of ground. You could use AI to analyze a photograph. You could use it to plan an investigation, to structure a scientific experiment, to analyze witness testimony for patterns. The applications are very broad. But today, we're going to specifically talk about audio analysis, EVP, electronic voice phenomena. And we're not just going to talk about it, we're going to test it. A real experiment with controls and historical data and with results that genuinely surprised me. It's a good day. How this is going to work is we're going to submit EVP recordings to the 4 major AI engines, Google Gemini, ChatGPT, Microsoft Copilot, and Claude AI, using the exact same question for each one, because to do this right, consistency matters. But to run a proper experiment, you also need controls. You need to know what the right answer is before you start. And for that, we're going to use fake EVPs. Back in 2015, a paper was published called Linguistic Comprehension of Electronic Voice Phenomena, an experiment in auditory perception accuracy. I know this because I wrote it. It was a study I conducted to test the reliability of human perception when listening to EVP recordings. This was long before AI was ever a part of anyone's daily conversation. To do it properly, I had my team, Para Boston, create a set of fake EVP recording files that sounded authentic but weren't. Files where I knew 100% certainty, with 100% certainty that it was what was inside them. No ambiguity, no interpretation, no unknown content. That was the control. And we tested those recordings on 123 individuals, and the results were fascinating. I'm going to let you know what the results were, but not yet. I don't want to spoil anything. And if you haven't read the paper, don't read it until after this video. Trust me, because today we're going to take those same recordings, 11 years later, the exact same recordings, and give them to the 4 biggest AI systems on the planet. And we're going to compare what they find to what 123 humans found in 2015. And before each recording, I'm going to play it for you so you can decide for yourself what you hear before AI weighs in. You're part of this experiment too. We have 9 files in the test. There's a 10th, but I wasn't able to convert it to the proper format in time, so I'm going to play it at the end of this video, and I want you to tell me in the comments what you think is being said. I'll personally reply to every comment with the correct answer on April 15th, 26. So take your time, take your best shot. All right, let's begin. Okay, so like I said, we're going to start with Google Gemini, and we'll get that ready here. But also, as I promised, I am going to play each file before I give it to the AI engines. And so you can do your own analysis on it with your brain. The actual intelligence, and you can see what you think. So here is the first file. Let's see what you think.
It's raining.
Okay, you get that? You got in your head what you think it is? Let's see what AI thinks. This is Google Gemini analyzing file 1. One thing that I had to do to be able to do this experiment is I had to convert the files from MP3 format to WAV format, because a lot of the artificial intelligence engines cannot work with a compressed file, which is an MP3. They can only work with raw files. So it's converted to a WAV format to make sure that it's clean for everybody trying to ingest it. So here we go. Okay, so the first file that it analyzed, it has determined that the word sweetie is on that first file. Does that match with you? We'll find out. We'll find out. All right, so here is file number 2 for your brain consumption. Ready? Here we go.
It's hot in here.
Did you get it? All right, ready? Here we go. Google Gemini analyzing file 2. I'm adding the word next in here just to help the engine along so it doesn't confuse the original file. Okay, so Google Gemini feels that the second file contains the words, "It's cold in here." That match you? Okay. Now, one of the things I want to make note of is that you'll notice that I'm cutting and pasting the questions. I want to make sure they are consistent. I'm going to use the exact same question, give or take the word next here and there. But I want to make sure that the questions match exactly across all of the AI applications. All right, on to file 3. Here is file 3. Get your brain ready.
Dog.
Okay, you get it? Good. Let's give it to Google Gemini. See what they say. Or it. Okay. Google Gemini feels that the third file contains the word dog. All right. Moving on to file number 4. Ready? Here we go. Okay, we've got file number 4, and we're going to give that now to Google Gemini. Okay, according to Google Gemini, file number 4 contains the words "I'm so." Not even a complete sentence, not really even a good phrase. So, okay, "I'm so." Keeping score, right? We're moving on to file number 5. Here is file number 5 for your human brain consumption. Okay, now we're going to give it to Google Gemini. Let's see what it discovers in this file. Okay, Google Gemini has determined that in file number 5, it is containing the words "in my room." In my room. Do you think that's what it's on that recording? Did you hear the same thing? Or did you hear something completely different? Let's move on to file number 6. Okay, that was file number 6. You got it all ready? Now we're going to give it to Google Gemini, see what happens. Okay, Google Gemini has determined that the file contains the word "cold." Is that what you got? You think that's what it is? Do you know what it really says? I do, and I'll tell you in a bit, but yeah. All right, moving on. Moving on to file number, whatever this is. Let's see, file number, we are on file number 7.
Hi.
Okay, now handing it off to Google. Gemini, that is. Okay, Google Gemini has determined that file 7 contains the word "hi." You think that's what's on there? Well, we'll find out. Moving on to file number 8. Get your ears ready. All right, have you tuned your ears in? Did you get it? All right, let's see what Google Gemini thinks it is. Okay, Google Gemini feels that the transcription of file number 8 is no. Pretty negative. Okay, moving on to the final file, file 9. Ready? Get your ears ready. Let's go. Okay, so you've had some moment to digest that, and now we're going to give file 9 to Google Gemini. Let's see what Google Gemini says is contained in file 9. Okay, so file 9, according to Google Gemini, contains the word "monster." Do you get monster? Have you heard monster? You think it's right? Do you think you were wrong? We'll find out in the end of this here. But now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the files and we're gonna give them to ChatGPT. I'm not gonna play the files again for you to consume because that might be a bit redundant, but you can rewind if you want to hear them again. But I'm just going to give these files in order to ChatGPT and you get to watch that process. So you can see what it outputs for each one. Here we go. Okay, so let's go. We're in ChatGPT. I'm going to paste the exact question after uploading this file. There's file 1, pasting the exact question we gave to Gemini. I'm sorry for the screen being cut off a little bit. My screen capture device did not include the rest of my screen because I have a very large screen display and I think the resolution just cut out. But we still can see everything that has come back inside of the results, so it's all good. Okay, so for the first file, ChatGPT considers it a Class B EVP and considers it saying, get out or help me. Moving on to file 2, same question, ChatGPT. Let's see what she does. I'm adding the word next in here again, and I'm recopying that because ChatGPT is a lot more finicky about this type of thing than the other AI engines, at least that I've found. Okay, it is working. EVP2 was analyzed, and it is 6.73 seconds. It gives you some options, but the final interpretation is leave now. It believes file 2 says leave now. Don't leave now. Stay for the end because it's pretty cool. File 3. Now going into ChatGPT. I'm a poet and didn't know it. All right, here we go. So ChatGPT says that the file 3 contains, what's the ultimate end? It contains the word right here. And if you notice, ChatGPT is calling out that it is force interpreting. It is using force interpretation. It is not just admitting that it can't identify it. It is forcing an interpretation on it, which is not very good. Okay, file 4 has been analyzed by ChatGPT. Those are the things it says it sounds like, and now we get the final word, come here. It thinks that file contains the words come here. Moving on to file 5. So the file was analyzed and 6.5 seconds long. A little bit of a description of what it heard, some phonetic matches, but it believes it contains help me. So according to ChatGPT, that file contains help me. Moving on to file 6. And don't worry, I'll recap everything that's been said by each of these. You'll be able to see them all side by side, of course, for easier consumption. But now we move on to file 6. Here we go, 6.1 seconds long. And it is saying that the words in file 6 is, or are, rather, get back. I wonder if it's the Beatles trying to talk to us. Here we go. File 7 now going in for analysis. All right, and file 7, according to ChatGPT, contains a Class B EVP again. And the most likely phrase is, come back again. Come back. Moving on to file 8. Let's see. File 8, 6.3 seconds. And it believes that the words contained on that file are, drum roll please, come here. So if you're going to come back, you come here. Moving on to file 9. Last file in the list. File 9 contains, according to ChatGPT, leave me. Perfect for the end, isn't it? Leave me. Great. So now, here's the thing. So we're going to go into the other AI engines, and but you're going to see that there is a problem with doing that. So we're going to go to the Microsoft Copilot next. The problem is, as you can see, Copilot does not allow us to upload audio files. It is not geared to analyze audio files. We can't even upload it. So we have to dismiss using Microsoft Copilot for analysis. We can't use it. Let's move on to Claude AI. Okay, so Claude AI let us upload the file for analysis. But the problem is it sits there and works and works and works. And eventually it turns into this message here. So it's saying that Claude's response could not be fully generated. So I tried rerunning it a bunch of times and it was just not able to process it. And I don't believe that Claude is capable of analyzing WAV files either. And it says taking longer than usual. Claude does seem to be slower than all of the other engines. And it does have some benefits in text analysis, but when we're talking about wave analysis, it seems that Gemini and ChatGPT are able to analyze audio files. So if you're going to try to analyze your EVPs using an AI, one of those two are the only options you have. But before you do that, let's see how good they are. So since we have both of our AI engines analyzing our 9 files, are you ready for the results? Yes, you are. Do you have a list of all the ones that you said? Did you write them down? Are you going to compare yourself? Because what we're going to do is I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to show you the list of results. All right, here we go. Okay, so there you have it. 4 AI systems, well, technically 2. 9 controlled recordings, known content, standardized questions, a decade of human data to compare it against. And what did we find? Well, we found that Gemini performed the best of the 4, getting several files correct or close. But even Gemini struggled with ambiguous content, and in some cases even added words that simply weren't there. ChatGPT was far more inconsistent, finding phrases that bore little resemblance to the actual content of the files. But here's the finding that I want you to sit with. Files 4, 5, and 6, those were gibberish files, deliberately. The investigator who created them didn't say any words at all. Pure nonsense sounds designed to test whether listeners, human or artificial, could recognize the absence of language. In 2015, humans identified those files as gibberish at rates of 83%, 47%, and 43%. The AI systems, every single one of them return confident, coherent phrases from those files. Almost every time, without hesitation, without real uncertainty. That means when it comes to recognizing that something is not a voice, humans outperformed AI significantly. And that is the core problem with using AI for EVP analysis. It isn't that AI is bad at finding patterns. It's that AI is too good at finding patterns. It finds them whether they're there or not. It doesn't know how to say, this is just noise. It reaches for language because that's what it was built to do. That's not analysis. That's the same auditory pareidolia we've been trying to eliminate from paranormal research for decades. Just running at machine speed. Now, I promised you one more file. This is file 10, the one I couldn't include in the AI submissions because of a format issue, but I want you to hear it. I want you to tell me in the comments what you think that recording is. What is it saying? Whatever your brain hears, write it down. Don't overthink it. Just your first instinct. I will personally reply to every single comment with the correct answer on April 15th. That gives everyone time to weigh in before the reveal. And trust me, when you find out what's actually in that file, it's going to reframe everything you just watched in this episode. Now, before I go, I want to make something very clear about where I stand on AI. I'm not saying AI has no place in paranormal research. It absolutely does. For photo enhancement, probably, investigation planning, data organization, pattern mapping across large data sets. These are really legitimate applications that can genuinely improve the quality of investigation work, without a doubt. But for EVP analysis specifically, what we've seen today suggests that AI is not ready to be a reliable arbiter of what is and isn't a voice. Not because the technology isn't impressive, but because the methodology behind these tools hasn't been validated. The training data is suspect. The false positive rate on non-voice content is alarming. And critically, these systems can be led. Suggest an answer and they'll confirm it. That's not science. That's a very sophisticated version of what we've always warned investigators against. The human element, trained, methodical, phonetically grounded, still matters. Maybe more than ever. If this experiment raised questions for you, then good. That's what the Pyrrhian element is here for. Not to give you the easy answers, but to make sure questions are worth asking. And if you found this episode pleasurable, please hit the like button. It genuinely helps my channel reach people who are looking for exactly this kind of content. And if you are not subscribed yet, my friends, now is a good time. We have a lot more coming, including a breakdown of how to actually analyze EVP using acoustic phonetics and software you can use yourself for free. Drop your answer to file 10 in the comments, and I will see you on April 15th with the reveal. And until then, my friends, stay curious and question everything.